This is obviously a warehouse. It even says so up there. But we're here in San Pedro. Does that mean it's something to do with fishes? Come with me and we'll go inside and discover.
Crafted is this wonderful place in the old Port of Los Angeles warehouses number 9 and 10. And it's a permanent year-round craft market, so the kind of people that you see at street festivals that do art and jewelry, upholstery, leather, they have a permanent home here. They can rent a 10 by 10 space from us or larger and brand it with their own signage and do their craft in their stall so that customers can enjoy it every day.
And what time are you open from until?
We're open right now Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. We do occasionally stay open a little bit later for special events, so check our website, craftedportla.com, to find out what those are.
As far as someone coming here, if they or if someone watching has a real creative idea for a booth, do they then come and sort of pitch you or contact you?
They can contact me, or anybody in the office can help them out. We have a sales and leasing manager that helps guide people through the process and explain how it works, so that it's not really all that complicated. You get a 10 by 10 plywood stall. You can paint. You can put up shelving. You can put up a sign.
In terms of, this is a warehouse and we're in San Pedro. Years ago, was this, my English sense of humor, was this like filled with fish or something? What was this before?
This was built as a naval warehouse and it was completed in 1945. I think that the Navy did use it kind of minimally, but the war was over by the time it was done, so there wasn't as much need for it. And then the port operations have become more container-based and less warehouse-based. So while it was a warehouse use for some time, after a while it just wasn't needed anymore. The port used it for some things. It was used for police training, and then they were sitting vacant, and the port wanted somebody to come in and see their natural beauty and do something with it.
Just tell me one more time before we go and explore some of these booths. For people watching, it is geographically located where? Tell me again.
It's located in San Pedro on the LA waterfront at the corner of 22nd and Minor.
Okay, let's go and explore some of these exciting little booths here at Crafted. We're talking with Diane Gonzalez in something called Global Gifts, and it is really a cornucopia of wonderful little, trinkets. Tell us a little bit about it.
We are a nonprofit, all-volunteer organization, been in San Pedro for about 43 years, long time.
43?
Yeah, in a variety of places. We were on Pacific, and then we were on 7th, and then we were up on Western, and now here we are at Crafted, which is our favorite place.
You have such a wide collection of stuff. Tell me a little bit, do you focus in on one particular thing or just a potpourri of everything?
One of the parts of our mission is that we are doing a fair trade marketplace. So what we're trying to do is get the artisans paid a fair wage so that they can do well in their countries. So, and many of our crafters are women. So when mom gets paid, she takes care of the kids. So that's getting mom paid is one of our missions.
So if you're a mum watching, what exactly does that mean to that mum? If she has a creative idea, she says, oh yes, I've got to go down to see you.
Well, actually, we work with developing countries, the developing world, yeah. We do, like for instance, in the Philippines, there was a group of women who were very low-income women, and they needed to earn income, so they started this project to take rice bags, the sacks that hold rice, and they made purses out of them. And 10 years ago when they started, they weren't very good at it. But 10 years later, they're doing gussets and bindings and zippers and pockets and making wonderful bags. And if you call over there to the Philippines, you get their marketing director.
Obviously, I know what the word non-profit means, but what does it mean? When you sell stuff, the money goes back to what?
Right. We sell everything here and pay a fair wage to the artisan, so that helps the artisan. And then any proceeds, any profit that we make, which is sometimes pretty hard to do, but any profit that we make goes to the UNICEF, the United Nations Children's Fund. And that helps children all over the world with clean water, immunization, basic child survival. And if you choose, I can show you a couple of products.
Okay.
The gentlemen who make these have become sort of well known for what their carvings. They're getting better and better at carving, and so they're making a pretty good living carving these little tagua nuts. It's sustainable. It's renewable. It comes from a tree. You don't have to kill.
Comes from a tree?
Comes from a tree. You don't have to kill anything. It looks like ivory, but it's a nut. So you
It's
don't
a nut. You're right. It looks just like ivory.
looks like ivory, but it carves like ivory, but it actually is not. It actually comes from a tree. And they don't have to cut down the tree, and they don't have to kill an animal. So it's a wonderful, wonderful, sustainable material. And these guys are getting pretty well known and starting to be collected as artisans. You can see it makes a wonderful tote, great tote for knitting or for craft projects, and it's made out of a rice sack. You can see the pattern's very beautiful rice sack, but the artisanship, the sewing is really, really well done.
But tell me a little bit about this wonderful characters and what is this made of?
This is a clay nativity, actually. This is the Nacimiento from Peru. And we also have angels and another one over here that's also from Peru. It's made by women artisans, and they use clay, native clay, and form them. And we actually have a partnership with these folks. And on the the first weekend of November, we will have probably 80 different nativities from Peru here.
And since this is going on YouTube, is there a number or a website you would like to have appear on our screen?
Absolutely. Our phone number here at Crafted, I don't even know it. It's area code 310, and it's 548-1762. And you can reach us right here at the shop 3 days a week, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, from 11 to 6.
We wish you a lot of luck. Thank you very kindly.
Thank you very much.
We're talking with Steve McGee in the San Pedro Art Association, and they have a really creative booth here with, as you can see, pictures and wonderful wooden things. So here, Steve, tell us a little bit about what we're standing amongst.
Well, right here we have 12 members represented from the San Pedro Art Association. We've been around 77 years.
77?
77 in San Pedro, and we're just the latest bunch of artists who volunteer and work the shop. And we have 3 booths here at Crafted and a gallery at Ports of Call, where we show a lot more art there. We do have about 100 active members right now, so.
In terms of what we're looking at, specifically this wood stuff here, which is really intriguing, who makes this, and did they sort of approach you? How does that whole thing work?
Well, we have events all the time, and that's usually how artists find us, like at the Croatian Cultural Center on First Thursdays or at the gallery. This fella here is Alvin Kozachenko, and these are all works done with a scroll saw the old-fashioned way. So,
The old-fashioned way, meaning, tell me a little bit about that and what, I mean, could you do this in the modern way?
apparently they have laser stuff now, and the jig, and you can just put it on a computer and it zips it out. Well, this takes hours and patience to do.
And if someone's watching and wants to submit their work to you, how does that happen?
They can pop in here on Friday, Saturday, Sunday at Crafted. They can visit our gallery at Ports of Call, which is right next to Dreyer's Ice Cream. We have a website. There's lots of ways. So.
And what is your phone number?
310-831-2928.
When I look at some of these things here, this is a really clever, I guess, montage. I mean, it looks like sort of bicycle bells, and it looks like, I don't know, tell me a little bit about that.
That artist is Debbie Sue Stinson, and it's assemblage. And this piece is called Mother Nature, and it's very much interactive, which is how she likes all her stuff to be.
Okay.
She uses found items, swap meet, garage sale items to create new works of art, and she does the tile mosaic.
And the fact that this is an art association, when you sell stuff, the proceeds from that goes back into what you're doing, or how does that work?
Well, we have a real nominal fee that to keep the association growing, and the artist actually retains most of the purchase price to pursue their, art and stuff. So
We're talking with Gus Lopez in an absolutely fascinating display of, I feel like I'm almost underwater. This is a really wonderful, and I love the name, nautical. So Gus, tell us a little bit about all this stuff here. Does this come from your background?
Of course. This is, I have 16 years of working on the waterfront here on tugboats. I work 3 days a week for a tugboat company here, and on the 4 days off, I practice tying all these different knots.
He works on tying knots?
I work on tugboats, and then all the knots that we learn, in the industry, I put them to work, and I make decorations out of them. Here's an example of one. Here's a doormat that I make here out of a knots called the oval Turk's head mat.
How did you, I mean, learning, when I look at the, the artistry in that, were you interested in that sort of thing as a kid? I mean, that's incredible. How did you learn that?
Actually, when I was a kid, I was working here on the harbor cruise boats in the harbor, and when I was about 18 years old, I went to school to work on ships, and that's where I learned how to tie all these different knots. And this is actually the lost art of tying, of tying knots and stuff. It's sailors, when they spend a lot of days at sea, they will sit around and practice all these different knots and make decorations out of them. Nowadays, they're all on the computer, on Facebook.
When you were younger and you got fascinated by knots, and someone would say to you, Gus, so what do you do in your spare time? And you'd say, well, I like tying knots. Did that evince a whole lot of strange looks on people's faces?
Oh, of course. They say, so you're the real naughty guy, huh? And I say, yes, I am. But I have another example of one of the knots that I make, and that's this here. This is called a monkey's fist knot. They actually use this on a ship to get the line from the ship to the dock. They swing it over.
Right.
What I do with this, I make a toilet paper holder out of this, put two rolls of toilet paper on here. Put that in your bathroom,
I love it. I look at all these, when you look at modern diving, and I look at all these stuff here, the old style diving helmets. Oh, how did you get interested in that?
Just being the nautical art guy here, a lot of my clients are always looking for diving helmets, anything to do with the Navy or the Coast Guard. And so I go out and I'm kind of like the American picker of nautical stuff. I go around and meet people that have collections and stuff, and I'll buy a big collection off them, and then I'll, turn around and make a couple of dollars and reselling the stuff, so.
If people want to contact you, give us a phone number they can reach you at.
I have a website called nauticalart.com. It's all one word, and my phone number is 562-980-6199.
The last question I have to ask you is, when people are watching and they hear that you work on a tugboat, what exactly work do you do on the tugboat?
I work as a first mate. We take cargo with the tug and a barge from San Diego Navy Base to San Clemente Island every week.
Wow.
Every week I do that. It's a weekly run. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I'm off Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
We're talking with Tim McCarthy, and one of the reasons we're standing here is RPV Television has done a show on the Red Car, and this is called the Red Car Market. So what is the connection there, Tim?
Well, the Red Cars originally went all over Los Angeles. We're a collective of 9 local food manufacturers from all over Los Angeles. So the Red Cars are now located just across the street from us. We just like the tie-in of, older LA, the warehouses, and just trying to tie that name in.
What a wide selection of stuff here. Tell our viewers some of the stuff that you have on these shelves here.
We have some balsamic-based sauces out of Van Nuys, chocolates from Culver City, hot sauces from Venice, granolas from Inglewood, moles and Mexican cooking sauces from Westchester. Silver Lake has some Sicilian pasta sauces, and a shop in Pasadena who has a selection of California olive oils and olives and Italian balsamic vinegars.
We're talking with Daniel Randolph, who I must say has an extraordinary collection of really wonderful pictures. But what I find so interesting about them is not only are they pictures, but they're sort of, what do you call that format where is that 3D?
These are 3D cutout paintings, and they're painted with acrylic. And most of them are local saints of San Pedro, Palos Verdes, and.
But when you say cutout, how do you do that? I mean, do you paint the picture first and then you cut out stuff to go on top? How does that work?
That's just like you said it. I do a painting first of all, and then I make giclée prints, and I cut them out and mount them, and then I paint on top of them, and I build a layer of about 3 layers. Depending on the subject matter, and then when it's all finished, then I will paint again on top of the whole picture.
Okay, we're talking with Karen McMillan, and we're standing in a wonderful place filled with jams and jellies and Paradise Preserves. Tell us a little bit about that. Is it a local operation?
Yeah, my daughter and I are the owner-operator chefs of Paradise Preserves. We make artisan jams, jellies, marmalades, chutneys, vinegars, and we get our produce straight from farmers and local certified growers. And so we go straight from farm to jar.
I'm intrigued when you say chutney. Chutney is something that I grew up with in England, and I don't know many of my fellow Americans that know about chutney. That is a very interesting thing. What got you interested in that?
I lived in Britain. And so we're trying to educate the American palate as far as chutneys go. Most people just know mango chutney, but we make a cranberry chutney and an apricot orange Turkish chutney and an Indian chutney that's made with cilantro and mint and chilies.
Since you're trying to educate the local population here, tell our viewers, what do you eat chutney with?
Oh my goodness.
Anything?
Oh, anything. Mango chutney was obviously used with hotter Indian dishes. It hails from East India. We use our cranberry chutney on turkey sandwiches. I use the apricot orange chutney is great on a ham or beef sandwich. Every one of them goes with cheese.
You know, I have this vision in my mind, looking at all this wonderful stuff here, of you sort of pouring over your kitchen stove with all these pots and pans and just masses of stuff every day. Wow, I'm exhausted from making all this jam and jelly. Is that how it is, or is it something totally different?
That's a part of it, yes. It's not an everyday thing. We spend a lot of time at farms and helping pick and going to local community gardens and using their produce. So that's about a third of it. So, and then we spend some time here.
So you're very selective then in what you choose.
Yes, most everything we use, if it's not certified organic, it is as organic as a farmer can get. And they're local small family farms, so a lot of times they can't afford the USDA certification and all that entails.
Okay. And if someone wants to talk to you or find out more, is there a website or a phone number?
We have Paradise Preserves, sp.com is our website, and they're welcome to come here at Crafted. We're here every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We also have email, which is paradisepreserves@gmail, and they can just find all the other information plus recipes and see pictures of the farms we go to, and everything's on our website.
We're talking with Josie Anderson of a very interesting little booth here filled with lots of jewelry and trinkets of one sort and another. Are there any sort of, well, tell us a little bit about it and what you specialize in, if you do indeed specialize.
Okay, we've been here since the beginning, the very first day they opened. I'm here with Dawn's Design, who is Dawn Slaney. She makes all crystal jewelry with wire jewelry. I make a lot of bead jewelry over here, turquoise and coated silver, and earrings.
When you make beaded jewelry, when I look at that, it looks so intricate. I mean, is that a very long process?
No, it's not long. It's just what's tedious about it is trying to put the colors together.
Have you found there is any particular thing here that is a, bestseller, or do you feel, or do you feel everything is a bestseller?
Well, I must say that Dawn sells a lot of crystal. Her crystal bracelets and necklaces and earrings. People like a lot of blink, so she sells quite a bit.
Just a minute, you said a lot of blink?
Yes, because of the crystals.
Oh.
They glitter and they blink, so ladies like that.
We're having a continuing conversation with John Stinson, and these pictures here in the wall, the significance of them is what? Tell us about that.
These are student artwork that we held a competition for all schools in San Pedro, all grade levels. We had quite a few people submit their artwork. There was no entry requirement other than the fact that they do their own artwork. And we've got about almost 80 pieces that we've framed and hung here at Crafted. Crafted was generous enough to provide us a space. We have this wall space that has all the actual prize winners, the ones that won first, second, third, and honorable mention. We gave away $1,000, including a best of show. We had a reception June 9th, and on June 9th, the people got to vote for the one that they liked the best that wasn't on the winner's wall here. So the person that won was a kindergartner. She was a little girl, and she was more excited about getting that ribbon than she was getting that $100. I'll tell you that right now.
Given the significance of having your picture put up there, I guess the fact is it is very significant and noteworthy for the people that have their pictures up there.
Well, that's true. And one of the reasons we did this also is the fact that art in schools is getting kind of a short shrift. I mean, you know, all the emphasis seems to be on science and math and even sports as opposed to art. Somehow art is superfluous, which I don't believe in. I don't think a lot of people do. You know, who are we going to have design our clothes and cars and put things on our walls to make, I mean, art, life without art is just So, which is one of the reasons we also did it, so that kids get encouraged to do art. I mean, you know what, as you know, people will oftentimes say to kids, especially when they're younger, that you don't have any talent. You know, why bother with this? You should just do something useful. Which, frankly, if someone told that to me, well, I wouldn't believe them in the first place. I've kind of, you know, I've been a photographer for 40 years, and so I never listened to anybody to tell me that I couldn't do it. So,
You said that there was an opening here, and how many people came here?
We had about 700 people, many of them from San Pedro, a lot of those who hadn't actually been down here yet. It's not like this is the best kept secret, but it was gratifying to have all these people down here. We did very well. In fact, you know, those kind of days we could use a lot of, you know, and I think the way things are going now, as time goes on, that's happening more and more. So once people hear about you, it's hard to put the genie back in the bottle, so to speak.
What an absolutely fascinating collection of wonderful arts and crafts right here in San Pedro. There are far more things to see and do than we've had time to show you, so I hope you will come on down to this arts and crafts center called Crafted right here in San Pedro. Until next time, this is John Clayton saying thanks for watching. I'll see you on Armchair Traveler.